Hey, good evening and welcome back, my Facebook friends. This is season number 3 to Chopping It Up Over Coffee with your boy Eric. I'm Eric Best and I'm your host. And this is our creative space, your space, where grown people and mature non-sensitive adults come to a forum where we discuss different topics and issues without anyone getting offended. That's what this is all about. Those that have followed me on my previous videos already know what this is all about. And I'm going to read my disclaimer as I always do in all of my other videos. I don't post any of my videos with any malicious intent. I'm just very candid and blunt, and I'm just one of these people that will discuss your topics that your average person will not. Before we get into today's topic that we're going to discuss, I want to go ahead on and give out a special thanks to all of my followers, my viewers, and like I always say, people that believed in me from the very first time. I appreciate you. And also those that connect on me on other social apps like Twitter, Instagram, and that forth. So the topic that we're going to be discussing today is, what is the benefit of being married versus shacking up? That's what I want to know from my followers and my viewers today. That is the question, the topic today. And I know you're probably married. I just want to know, when you're married, we already have an understanding that you and your spouse stood before God in agreement, and you spoke vows that you both were going to remain together for better or worse, right? So what I want to know is there ever a time when you are married? So I don't know whether if you're gay married or whether you're heterosexual married. I don't know. I don't know the audience or, who I'm speaking with. So I got to, cut both directions. So the question is, if you are married, since you are married, how do you feel? As far as, do you feel like that it's something wrong if you married to somebody and you've kind of gotten tired of them? Now, don't get me wrong now. I'm not saying that you don't love your spouse any more, any less, but what happens when the initial fizzizzle and, the honeymoon stage is over with, and you don't see that person the same anymore? Is it normal to kind of feel like that you want to kind of take a break or disconnect? I just want to know my, my thoughts from my viewers and my followers. Yeah, y'all let me know what your thoughts are about that. Or, as far as shacking up. Now, as far as the shacking up thing, people will say stuff like, oh, you got to get married or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when you're living with someone, and you quote unquote shack up for 2-3 years and then you get married, what is that about? I don't understand that. Are we getting married for the image of the people, or are we getting married based on the principles of what God says? That's what I want to know. And I know you always say that you and your spouse stood before God, but I'm going to be the devil's advocate here, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone's relationship. I'm just keeping it all the way real, like I always do in my previous videos. Now, we both know that you and your spouse actually stood in front of a man with a Bible that was written by a man, right? That professes itself to be a representation of God, because neither one of y'all actually seen God, right? According to the same Bible that you serve, that he held, God says he's basically everywhere. So you saying that you stood in front of God with your companion or your spouse, it's kind of like, but if I'm shacking up with my dude or my girl, God is there too. You see what I'm saying? I don't understand that. Is it like, when you say y'all stood before God, what do you mean by that? Is it you stood before a person that's a representation of God? I don't understand it. I've always wondered that when people say that you and your spouse stand before God, do you mean you and your spouse stood before the pastor with the Bible in the name of God, or did both of y'all actually stand in front of God and y'all seen his face? See what I'm saying? So somebody, set me straight. What is wrong with shacking up? I want to know that too. I want to know from my viewers how y'all feel about that. Like when people say shacking up, if you're not married married to a person, what is shacking up? Is it that you're cohabitating the same environment with another person and y'all laying up and y'all not married? So I want somebody to explain that to me in detail about the whole marriage thing, because basically what I see I see a lot of people together, and this is another disclaimer. Baby, I'm not jealous of your husband or your wife or any other type of relationship that you got. I'm not bitter. I'm not jaded or any of those type of things that you probably think. No, the difference is between me and most, and the reason why they are probably married in relationships and I'm not, is because I have a very unusual, strong personality, and I'm not going to go into an agreement like you probably did, or like somebody you know trying to get up under somebody based on what type of little money they got or their titles. So that's what I see a whole lot of. I see a whole lot of lazy. You got two people together, one person lazy, one person is a coward. Both of y'all basically came together, and it's like a money thing tied in with sex, and just, under the image of marriage. That's just it. What I keep seeing from all these titles in the world. You're putting a title in the name of God on yourself, but you don't live for God. You see what I'm saying? So there are people that do not live for God or do not even fear God, but you've had a godly ceremony. So yeah, that's what I want to know from my viewers. This is the first episode of season 3, episode 1 of Chopping It Up Over Coffee with your boy Eric. And that's what we do. This is our space where we basically talk about anything. I appreciate all of the encouraging emails and just basically, the thoughts, the suggestions, and the prayers and everything else. So that is the topic for today. I am out of time. When you are married to someone and you get tired, do you ever feel like that there would be an expiration date for you and that person that you're married to outside of the paperwork? That's the question. And what's wrong with shacking up? I feel like if you and somebody living together, this is my own personal opinion. I don't have to be married to you to live with you. See, I'm not really doing any of my videos for money. I'm not doing it for the people. I'm not doing it for validation or to be found or anything like that. My intention for my video is so that what is in me goes into you. Once you click stop, everything that I had in me done went into you. How I know that? Because you listen to it. You don't have to click like. You don't have to comment. You don't have to agree. That's the power of technology. Once you see a video and the information and the knowledge and the truth goes into your subconscious, it is there forever to rest. Even when I'm dead and gone, if there's Facebook and technology and someone has access to this video or any other video that I've ever posted, my voice will go forth outside of the grave. So that's what it's about. So y'all leave your thoughts and enjoy the rest of your day, and keep following me, and check in for episode 2, excuse me. Okay. And we will talk to you later.